إسلامك ودمك إلى يوم القيامة سيجد الأنصار والأعوان الأنفياء الأوفياء الذين يرددون دائما لبيك يا حسين.
This story starts off in the desert, around 50 years after the demise of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. The Muslim rulership was sliding into corruption under the tyrant Yazid from the Umayyad dynasty. The Yazid family established a corrupted caliphate, very much like Daesh today, and Islam was being tarnished. Imam Hussain, the grandson of the Holy Prophet, took a stand against Yazid's evil rule. Yazid was feared and hated for his ruthlessness. He was the spawn of the devil, stole money from people, whipped whoever he liked in the name of being the representative of God on earth. Whilst Imam Hussain, the beloved grandson of the Holy Prophet, was loved and respected by society for his gentleness and kind heart. Yazid realized this and understood that if he could convince Imam Hussain to support him, he could prolong his family's rule, the Umayyad Caliphate, by winning the support of the lovers of Imam Hussain. So Imam Hussain had a choice. The options were clear: to support the tyrant Yazid and live a comfortable, luxurious life, or to refuse and likely be killed for his decision. Imam Hussain couldn't live a life as a supporter of tyranny, and the choice for him was simple. Imam Hussain refused. He said, "I only desire to spread good values and prevent evil." Having refused to support Yazid, Imam Hussain knew his life was in danger. Yazid didn't allow anyone to oppose him and adopted a policy of killing those who disagreed with him, very much like the Wahhabi Daesh today. Cautious of this, Imam Hussain decided to leave his hometown of Medina and take his family to Mecca. Mecca, the blessed place where the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was born. Mecca, the capital city of Islam and the home to the Kaaba. Imam Hussain hoped Yazid would respect the holy city and not follow Imam Hussain and his family. However, Yazid did not. Forced to leave Mecca, Imam Hussain set course for Kufa, a city in Iraq, where he had received letters of support from many people. The cunning Yazid predicted this and sent an army to block Imam Hussain from reaching Kufa and forced them to the desert town of Karbala. Once they reached Karbala, Imam Hussain with his family and 72 companions was surrounded by Yazid's forces of up to 30,000 men. Despite being hugely outnumbered and with limited access to water, Imam Hussain refused to give up. Yazid gave Imam Hussain a final choice: to either support the corrupt government and so-called caliphate of Yazid or be killed. After receiving the final ultimatum from Yazid, Hussain realized he would be killed in a matter of days.
كما قلنا في كل مناسبة وليلة أمس، اليوم من جديد، اليوم من جديد كل من يمثل وما يمثل يزيد من طغيان واستكبار واستبداد وعدوان على الإسلام وعلى قيم الإسلام يضعنا بين خيارين، ونحن خيارنا واضح: ألا إن الدعي ابن الدعي في كل زمان ومكان يزيد وابن زياد، ومن يمثل اليوم حقيقة يزيد وابن زياد، ألا وإن الدعي ابن الدعي قد ركز بين اثنتين، بين الزلة والذلة.
Imam Hussain gathered his companions and urged them to escape. He explained, that it was him who Yazid wished to kill and not them. My dear friends, you see the love of Hussein. He was completely selfless. Having been deprived of water in the hot desert, he urged his supporters to save themselves. Despite this, the brave lovers of Imam Hussain stayed loyal to him and stayed true to their principles. These men were not just Muslims, but people of other faiths too. Muslims, Christians and even Hindu Brahmins. Within a few days, Yazid ordered his army to kill Imam Hussain and his companions. When the dust settled, Imam Hussain and his companions were martyred, holding on to their principles and not swearing allegiance to the tyrant Yazid. After his death, Imam Hussein's family were taken captive. His sister, Zainab, took up the role of leadership and gave an inspiring speech in Yazid's palace, condemning his actions and his style of leadership. Blessed Zainab was one of the first to be inspired by Imam Hussein's stand and his principles. Despite the sexism that existed in society during that time, she refused to be silent and held Yazid and his ministers to account for their role in the moral decay of society. Imam Hussein's example is that one man can stand against an army and in giving his life inspire those after him to overthrow the abusive Umayyad dynasty. Imam Hussain saw the injustice imposed on society during his time, and he realized how these rulers were using Islam for power, as well as using Islam to oppress others and take their property and make life miserable for them. Instead of remaining silent and doing nothing, he decided to improve society. He practiced courage in standing up against what was wrong, and he accepted the dangers in his decision. He never gave up his human virtues for the sake of furthering his purpose. Imam Hussain was truly a reflection of Imam Ali, the son-in-law of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and Imam Hussein's father, who taught courage is dependent on three virtues which complement each other. These are self-sacrifice, not bowing to humiliation and oppression, and not being after making a name for yourself. Thanks very much for listening to the Independent Islamic Republic. Assalamu alaikum. Have a wonderful night.